As you wish. These were the immortal words spoken by Wesley to Buttercup in the classic 1987 fairy tale movie The Princess Bride. Directed by Rob Reiner, it tells the story of a young sick boy living in modern 1980s, played by Fred Savage, who gets read the story of the Princess Bride by his loving grandfather, played by Peter Falk, where the young boy along with the viewers goes into the magical world of the Princess Bride. A story about a young woman called Buttercup, played by Robin Wright, who falls in love with a farmhand Wesley, played by Carrie Elwes. But their love is cut short when he disappears after heading off to find fortune, and is believed to be killed by pirates. Several years later, Buttercup is forced to marry the evil Prince Hamperdinck, played by Chris Sarandon, and while being transported to her reluctant wedding, she is kidnapped by 3 outlaws, played by Wallace Shawn, Mandy Patinkin, and Andre the Giant. And along their travels they are followed by a mysterious man wearing a black mask who is determined to save Buttercup, and it turns out this dashing heroic figure is Wesley, where he embarks on a magical adventure to save Buttercup from the clutches of the evil Hamperdinck in this timeless magical movie that has been adored by all ages. Oh, and the movie also features Billy Crystal under heavy makeup. Just throwing it out there. So today we are going to look into 10 inconceivable things that you may not know about The Princess Bride.
Inconceivable!
Lots of people have asked me to look into this movie, so to all those people I say, as you wish.
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Number 10, based on a book. Yep, it goes without saying that this movie about a magical fairy tale book is indeed based on, well, a magical fairy tale book. The book was published in 1973 and was written by William Goldman, who is probably best known for writing the screenplays for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and All the President's Men. He also wrote the novel Marathon Man, which also got converted into a movie in 1976. A movie famous for its "is it safe" torture scene. So considering the dark subject matter he usually dives into, The Princess Bride was something of a game changer for his writing. Goldman has stated that more people talk to him about The Princess Bride more than they do any other of his works, and further states that there is just something about The Princess Bride that affects people. Number 9. The Princess Bride had several failed theatrical attempts. As early as 1973, when the book was published, 20th Century Fox had planned to make a movie out of the fairy tale book, as Fox brought the rights to the book and got to work on a screenplay, with director Richard Lester hired to direct. Lester is probably best known for directing the Beatles movies A Hard Day's Night and Help, as well as Superman 2 and 3. However, the head of production for 20th Century Fox was fired, and then the movie was scrapped, and Goldman brought back the rights of his book. Since then, in the remainder of the 70s and early 80s, there had been several attempts from studios to make The Princess Bride into a movie, with no success, to the point where the idea of making a movie adaptation seemed inconceivable.
Inconceivable!
At one stage, even Robert Redford tried to get a movie project off the ground with no success, along with Fiddler on the Roof director Norman Jewison. And speaking of Superman, there are even claims that Christopher Reeve was up for getting The Princess Bride onto the big screen, with himself starring as Wesley. But still no success. Enter! This is Spinal Tap and Stand By Me director Rob Reiner. Number 8. Reiner Saves the Day. There's an irony that The Princess Bride is a story about an older family member reading a story to a younger family member, like they are passing down the glory of The Princess Bride onto their young. And like life imitating art, The Princess Bride book was given to Reiner as a gift by his father, and Reiner loved the book and wanted to make a movie about it. After making This Is Spinal Tap, The Sure Thing, and Stand By Me, Reiner wanted to further his directing achievements by making a big adventure movie extravaganza, and had his sights set on The Princess Bride, but due to the fact that there had been several failed attempts to make a movie adaptation of The Princess Bride, no studio wanted to greenlight it. However, Reiner got funding from TV producer Norman Lear, who also co-funded Reiner's previous movie This Is Spinal Tap, and then 20th Century Fox gave the picture the go-ahead. to which Reiner worked on the screenplay with the Princess Bride's original author, William Goldman, to bring his vision onto the big screen, with the filming mainly taking place in England and Ireland. If anything, this is Spinal Tap, The Sure Thing, Stand By Me, and The Princess Bride are all completely different movies, and shows what a versatile director Reiner truly is. Number 7. Love and Casting. The original choice to play the part of Vizik was Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was author Goldman's #1 choice, along with Lou Ferrigno. Liam Neeson stated in an interview that he auditioned for the larger-than-life role, but Reiner instantly turned him down due to his height. The World Wrestling Federation contacted the production and informed them that Andre the Giant had a cancelled match in Tokyo, which left him free to star in the movie, which led to his casting. Andre got along with everyone on the set, and his time spent on the movie was a positive one. And while filming on location, if Robin Wright ever got cold, Andre would put his entire hand over her head, which covered most of her head and would keep her warm. Danny DeVito was the original choice for Vizzini, but the part went to Wallace Shawn. Reiner knew that he wanted Cary Elwes to play Wesley after seeing him in Lady Jane. At the time of casting, Elwes was in Germany, of which Reiner flew to Munich to meet Elwes, and from there he was cast in the role. Many young actresses were tested for Buttercup, including Meg Ryan and Courtney Cox. But when Robin Wright turned up and auditioned, she won everyone over with her sincerity and shyness. And incidentally, while filming The Princess Bride, it seemed that Wright and Elwes were somewhat infatuated with each other and had an amazing chemistry. As Elwes said, when Wright was around, he couldn't really concentrate on much of anything else. Number 6. The importance of Rob Reiner's hat. Rob Reiner asked Mark Knopfler to score the music for The Princess Bride. Knopfler is a British rock musician, best known for being the main vocalist and songwriter for the band Dire Straits, and at that time he was enjoying great success with the hit Dire Straits song Money for Nothing. Knopfler had also previously dabbled in film scoring, having previously composed a score for Local Hero and Carl. When Reiner asked him to contribute his musical talents for The Princess Bride, Knopfler had a rather strange request. He said he'll only take on the job if Reiner's hat that he wore in This Is Spinal Tap makes an appearance in the movie. So Reiner's USS Oral Sea hat he wears in This Is Spinal Tap does indeed turn up in the movie, and can be seen sitting in the background in Fred Savage's bedroom. Yep, that's all it took to get him involved in the movie. Fair enough, I guess. I mean, the hat will star in the movie? Good, negotiations over. Number 5. On-set injuries. There were a few injuries that occurred during the making of The Princess Bride. In a fight scene, Cary Elwes told fellow actor Christopher Guest to hit him for real, which he did, which shut down the production for a day as the enthusiastic knock caused an injured Cary Elwes a trip to the hospital. In the movie, there is a scene where Inigo Montoya seeks revenge on the sinister six-fingered man for killing his father, where he says the famous line,
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Actor Mandy Patinkin loved making the scene, as while filming it he was reflecting on the real-life death of his actual father, so he felt that for a brief moment his own personal fairy tale had come true. However, the scene wasn't so pleasurable for Guest, who played the six-fingered villain, who felt that Patinkin was taking the sword fighting way too seriously and was actually going to kill him, and thus in the fencing scene he wasn't acting with the rehearsed choreographed moves, but was actually fencing off Patinkin, which resulted in him getting stabbed in the thigh. Ouch. There is also another incident where while filming, Robin Wright's dress caught on fire, which was actually meant to happen, but Princess Bride's author Goldman was on the set, and when he saw the scene being filmed he got into a panic and started screaming, "Her dress is on fire," forgetting that the stunt was intentional. Number 4. McCartney rejected. Rob Reiner apparently approached former Beatle Paul McCartney to record a couple of songs to be used for The Princess Bride, and in doing so McCartney recorded the songs Once Upon a Long Ago and Beautiful Night, but the tracks were rejected by Reiner, who didn't find them hip and too sentimental. Although there are some conflicting reports that Once Upon a Long Ago was actually written for Santa Claus the movie but got rejected from that film. Who knows, maybe the song got rejected from both. Proving that even a former Beatle isn't perfect. Although I do like Once Upon a Long Ago, but Yeah, I don't think it would have fit with the Princess Bride's atmosphere. The movie did, however, use the song Storybook Love, which was written by American singer-songwriter Willie DeVille. And the song was such a hit it was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Song at the 60th Academy Awards. Number 3. Clever poster marketing. Oh, I love movie posters, and I always have. Although movie posters may be an art that's lost on people in modern years, what with movies just having photoshopped covers put together for Blu-ray and DVD releases, back in the day posters had to really be inventive and eye-catching, and to sell the movie. And The Princess Bride did something very clever. It had 2 different posters depending on what angle of the movie was to be interpreted. There was this one which focused on the love story aspect of the movie, with Wesley and Buttercup staring at each other in a loving embrace, standing in between 2 pillars. And like a flip side of the coin, there is this one with the grandfather reading his grandson the book, also in between the 2 pillars, focusing on the story adventure aspect of the film. There are other posters that were made for the movie, like this one which was beautifully drawn, even if Andre the Giant does look like the creepy train guy from Ghost. And this one which seemed to be on most VHS covers, which is probably my least favourite, as the main focus point is a very happy and jolly looking Robin Wright, and doesn't really say much about the film, which is why to me this 2-part movie poster is a sure winner. Number 2. VHS boosted the movie's popularity. Originally, when The Princess Bride was released, it did okay. It earned $30.9 million on a $16 million budget. A modest profit, but still not as big as Rob Reiner was hoping. However, when the movie made its way to home video is when its huge popularity really took off, and shot The Princess Bride into beloved classic status. And within its now 30 plus years, The Princess Bride has become one of those movies that everyone seems to know and frequently quotes. If you say a line from this movie, then everyone knows what you're talking about, which isn't inconceivable.
Inconceivable!
It frequently makes it on both greatest comedies and love story lists, and in both 2006 and 2013 it was placed at 84th in the best screenplays of all time by the Writers Guild of America. Number 1. There is a sequel and Stephen King is the villain. Yes, there is something of a sequel to The Princess Bride, or at least proposed idea, as in the book's 25th anniversary edition, there was an epilogue that speaks of a sequel story called Buttercup's Baby, in which Waverly, who is the daughter of Buttercup and Wesley, is kidnapped by a skinless ghoul, and it's up to the babysitter, Physique, to save her, and he even jumps off a mountain to do so. The epilogue further explains that author Stephen King is trying to stop the sequel from being told. Now, not the real Stephen King, but Stephen King within the story, of course. Then in the book's 30th anniversary, there was even more hints and clues about the sequel, with the promise that it will finally be told on the book's 50th anniversary in 2023. So what's the big hold up? Well, William Goldman is struggling to come up with a complete story and write it. He's been asked several times what's happening with Buttercup's Baby, the eagerly anticipated Princess Bride sequel, and he explains that he wants to write the book, but the first story, Princess Bride, was lightning in a bottle, and that he'll be lucky to achieve that again. Nothing to do with Stephen King and his lair trying to stop the book, of course.
Inconceivable!
The romance is what binds the fans of The Princess Bride together. Yes, it has plenty of laughs and action and wonderful storytelling, but I think the movie's biggest attraction that stands out is the loving chemistry between Carrie Elwes and Robin Wright. And I'm sure it's no doubt what brings in new viewers. The 80s was the best time for fairy tale fantasy movies, and I hope the genre has a renaissance soon. For a movie that just managed to double its money in the box office, The Princess Bride nowadays sure has lots of love. See ya!